Hello, Concord families. This is your principal, Paul Domer, with an update about distance learning. We hope that you're all well and enjoying the extra time that you have. We certainly miss you a lot. A lot of teachers have expressed how much they miss working with your kids. All of us signed up for this business to work directly with kids. And so this distance learning will be a little different for us, but we'll work through it together. I hope that this screencast will answer some of your questions that you may have about distance learning today. The first thing that we want to talk about is routines and relationships. Those are the two things that we're really going to emphasize a lot throughout this distance learning. And just like our teachers at school do at school, we're focusing on maintaining routines and relationships with your children, even though it is virtually. So we're hoping that you will have a routine during this extended closure for your kids, and that it will help the kids know what to expect each day and to support what we know will be an eventual transition back to school. Also, we want to really emphasize relationships. Teachers will use the tools available in Seesaw, and that's for kindergarten, first and second grade, and Schoology for grades 3, 4, and 5 to support the relationships they have built in their classrooms. So we hope to use a lot of video so that kids can at least see and hear their teachers each day. All right, beginning on March 30th, that is the technical start day for this distance learning. And we will have activity boards assigned for each of your kids. Now, those were boards that were sent home earlier this fall in the case that we have inclement weather, where we had to cancel school for that. So those will be the primary lesson delivery for the first week back. Attendance is important to keep track as we go throughout this process. It is not optional, and we'll have our teachers having them take attendance daily. And this will depend on how the students are posting to both Seesaw and Schoology. They need an interaction, some type of response each day in order to count students present for the day. Again, with maintaining relationships and routines, we're going to have teachers post an update and a video by 8 a.m. each day, and they will share an activity, ask students to respond to their submissions, and then they'll hold office hours for a total of 2 hours a day, 1 hour in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And then classroom teachers will continue to communicate their schedules to each family. For special services and intervention teachers, they're going to be reaching out to the families that this affects next week with more specific information. And those services will likely begin by April 6th. Specialists, that includes art, music, Phi-Ed, also includes media, advanced academics, and our multilingual learners. Those lessons will begin on April 6th, and classroom teachers will also communicate those schedules with you. So what do you do if you have questions? Very similar to normal school operations, if you have questions about assignments or activities related to your child's education, reach out to the classroom teacher for that. We're looking at lots of different ways to communicate through that. Teachers may use their phones. They also may use Google Meet, which is a tool that we've been using a lot as a district for having those meetings as well. Technology questions, you will be able to access the help desk that we use in our district, which would be on the portal. And there will be instructions for logging into that if that's something you haven't done before. We are really beefing up our technology support for families because we know this is a pretty unique and pretty large need that everyone's going to have. If you have any other questions about systems or building operations, then reach out to myself. So again, a couple slides here, just looking over the weekly schedule. So again, by 8 a.m., there will be that initial activity and video. And then there will be some teacher-directed activities, and then which your children then will respond to. And there'll be AM and PM office hours. On Friday, that's going to be a day for teachers to plan and collaborate both within our teams at Concord and with other grade level teams in all the elementary buildings. And so the activities for Friday will likely either be posted right away that morning or even early on Thursday, but there will be no direct teacher-student interaction on that day. A sample elementary schedule may look something like this. We've said it a couple times now, but by 8 a.m., you'll see those postings either on Schoology or Seesaw. And then students will engage in their activities throughout the morning. Now, again, this doesn't have to be at these exact times. The teacher office hour time does not need to match up directly with student work time. We know that we're going to have to be flexible and that you have things going on in your life as well. So these office hours will take place 1 hour in the morning for each teacher, and then in the afternoon, 1 hour in the afternoon for each teacher. And the teachers will let you know when they'll be available during that time. So that's for questions from both you and for students as well. And then teachers have to keep track of student assignments and engagement through either Seesaw or Schoology, and so they'll be marking attendance that day. Again, we know that there's going to be days where you're going to have to do other stuff, and so some of this work may be done later after 5 o'clock. That's fine. Just make sure that the teacher knows and that the student has done the interaction with these lessons at that point, and then we will go back in and retroactively count your children as present during that day. Just a couple of tips here. Try to make workspace for your kids as minimally distracting as possible, which I know is not always easy. My wife's a teacher and we have a second grader, and so we're all going to be sharing spaces throughout the house. And so we're going to do the best we can. Technology, if you have school-related devices, we really ask that you treat them as your own, and please don't have food or beverages around them. And then to practice good digital citizenship. And there will be more information on good digital citizenship and any other procedures that may need to take place if students violate some of these policies. And Mr. DeYoung is actually heading that work as we speak. So more information will be coming out to you all. This graphic was provided by Mr. DeYoung as well. Just some other simple things to keep in mind. Students should keep their passwords private. Privacy rules go into effect here about getting consent to take pictures and to share other things with that. So we're going to have a lot of learning in this regard as students are all in their own homes working through this. So we'll get through it together. So just to conclude, we are rolling out an entirely new education system for your children, and it's all been developed within about a week's time. I can't tell you just how impressed I am with the Concord teachers and staff and the district leadership across all departments. We've been meeting for hours for the last 2 weeks to try to make this work as well as possible for the benefit of you and your kids. A lot of this is new to us, and it may cause some added stress and anxiety. That's totally normal. I just learned how to do this screencast about 30 minutes ago, so I'm learning these tools and things as we go. We'll be collecting your feedback along the way. I'm part of a small district group that's working on the feedback process with parents. We want to hear from you in the first couple of weeks to see what's working and what's not and how we can support you and make our systems better. So we're building the plane as we fly it here. And again, we got into this profession because we love kids and we love learning. We're all learners. And this may not be the ideal way to continue our learning, but we're going to make the best of it. And we're going to face it with courage and with care. Above all those is the health of you and your family. So please take care of each other. We know that one of the things to help students to maintain some normalcy is that we continue learning. And so we want those, again, relationships and routines to be really central to everything we provide for your kids going forward. So we hope that the use of video and these interactive teaching methods will help bring some calm and some structure to your kids as well. A little note about rigor. We are going to continue to offer, grade level material and move forward with the curriculum. But we also want to be mindful of what's going on with each of you personally and your families and what's going on with your schedules as well. So we're not going to impose this on you as far as high rigor, but we're going to partner with you on it. And so again, we'll need a two-way feedback system to make sure we're doing that in the best way possible because we know everybody's going through their own challenges as well. Thanks in in partnering with us on this. Thanks for your flexibility. Thanks for letting us make some mistakes with this. And thanks for having each other's backs with this. If there's anything you need along the way, please reach out to any of us, just as you would during a normal school operation time. We're here for all of you, and we hope you're all well. And please be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.